Hello everyone. It is I, Najee Thomas. I guess I'll cut straight to the chase. Today is the Lord's Day. It is Sunday, September 14th, 2014. So we're just gonna give him his time. I took a day off. I'm making my videos just one day or whatnot. But if you know what I like to do with profession, take some time to do some research, you'll know why. But was known to pay respects as well as give me some time to myself to reflect and get back on track with things. But as of right now, it's not waste too much time and to do the goodwill. Take some time for the Lord and hopefully see if this book over here can continue to help myself as well as inspire others to do better. So here we go. Right now I'm gonna read out of Hosea and whatnot, and I'll just start from the beginning. The word of the Lord that came to Hosea, son of Beri, during the reigns of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, king of Judah, and of Jeroboam, son of Jehoshaphat, king of Israel. Hosea's marriage and children. When the Lord first spoke to Hosea, he said this to him: Go and marry a promiscuous wife, and have children of promiscuity, for the land is committing blatant acts of promiscuity by abandoning the Lord. So he went and married Gomer, daughter of Dibonah, and she convinced and bore him a son. Then the Lord said to him, Name him Jezreel, for in a little while I will bring the bloodshed of Jezreel on the house of Jehu, and put an end to the kingdom of the house of Israel. On that day I will break the bow of Israel in the valley of Jezreel. She conceived again and gave birth to a daughter, and the Lord said to him, Name her No Compassion, for I will no longer have compassion on the house of Israel. I will certainly take them away, but I will have compassion on the house of Judah, and I will deliver them by the Lord their God. I will not deliver them by bow, sword, or war, or by horses and cavalry. After Gomer had weaned no compassion, she conceived and gave birth to a son. Then the Lord said, Name him not my people, for you are not my people, and I will not be your God. Yet the number of Israelites will be like the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured or counted. And in the place where they were told, You are not my people, they will be called sons of the living God. And the Judeans and the Israelites will be gathered together. They will appoint for themselves a single ruler and go up from the land. For the day of Jezreel I will be great. Call your brothers, my people, and your sisters, compassion. Israel's adultery rebuke. Rebuke your mother, rebuke her, for she is not my wife, and I am not her husband. Let her remove the promiscuous look from her face, and her adultery from between her breasts, otherwise I will strip her naked and expose her as she was on the day of her birth. I will make her like a desert, and like a parched land, and I will let her die of thirst. I will have no compassion on her children, because they are the children of promiscuity, and their mothers is promiscuous. She conceived them and acted shamefully, for she thought, I will go after my lovers, the men who give me my food and water, my wool and flax, my oil and drink. Therefore this is what I will do. I will block her way with thorns. I will enclose her with a wall, so that she cannot find her paths. She will pursue her lovers, but not catch them. She will seek them, but not find them. Then she will think, I will go back to my former husband, for then it was better for me than now. She does not recognize that it is I who gave her the grain, the new wine, the oil. I lavished silver and gold on her, which they use for bow. Therefore I will take back my grain in its time, and my new wine in its season. I will take away my wool and linen, which were to cover her nakedness. Now I will expose her shame in the sight of her lovers, and no one will rescue her from my hands. I will put an end to all her celebrations, her feasts, new moons, and Sabbaths, all her festivals. I will devastate her vines and fig trees. She thinks that these are her wages that her lovers has given her. I will turn them into a thicket, and the wild animals will eat them, and I will punish her for days of the vows. When she burned incense to them, put on her rings and jewelry, and went after her lovers, but forgot me. This is the Lord's declaration. Israel's adultery forgiven. Therefore I am going to persuade her, lead her to the wilderness, and speak tenderly to her. There I will give her vineyards back to her, and make the valley of Ekron to a gateway of hope. There she will respond as she did in the days of her youth, as in the day she came out of the land of Egypt. That day, this is the Lord's declaration: you will call me my husband, and no longer call me my vow. For I will remove the names of the vows from her mouth. They will no longer be remembered by their names. On that day I will make a covenant for them. With the wild animals, the birds of the sky, and the creatures that crawl on the ground, I will shatter bow, sword, and weapons of war in the land, and will enable the people to rest securely. I will take you to be my wife forever. I will take you to be my wife in righteousness, justice, love, and compassion. I will take you to be my wife in faithfulness, and you will know Yahweh. On that day I will respond, this is the Lord's declaration. I will respond to the sky, and it will respond to the earth. The earth will respond to the grain, the new wine, and the oil, and they will respond to Jezreel. I will sow her in the land for myself, and I will have compassion on no compassion. I will say to not my people, you are my people, and he will say, you are my God. Waiting for restoration. Then the Lord said to me, go again, show love to a woman who is loved by another man and is an adulteress. Just as the Lord loves the Israelites, though they turn to other gods and love raising cakes. So I brought her 15 shekels of silver and 5 bushels of barley. I said to her, you must live with me many days. Don't be promiscuous or belong to any man, and I will act the same towards you. For the Israelites must live many days without king or prince, without sacrifice or sacred pillar, and without ephod or household idols. Afterward, the people of Israel will return and seek the Lord, their God, and David, their king. They will come with awe to the Lord and to his goodness in the last days. So, here we go. God's case against Israel. Hear the word of the Lord, people of Israel, for the Lord has a case against the inhabitants of the land. There is no truth, no faithful love, and no knowledge of God in the land. Cursing, lying, murder, stealing, and adultery are rampant. And no knowledge, no. One act of bloodshed follows another. For this reason the land mourns, and everyone who lives in it languishes. Along with the wild animals and the birds of the sky, even the fish of the sea disappear. But let no one dispute, let no one argue, for my case is against you priests. You will stumble by day, the prophet will also stumble with you by night, and I will destroy your mother. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge. I will reject you from serving as my priest. Since you have forgotten the law of your God, I will also forget your sons. The more they multiply, the more they sinned against me. I will change their honor into disgrace. They feed on the sin of my people. They have an appetite for their transgressions. The same judgment will happen to both people and priests. I will punish them for their ways and repay them for their deeds. They will eat but not be satisfied. They will be promiscuous but not multiply. For they have abandoned their devotion toward the Lord. Promiscuity, more wine and new wine, take away one's understanding. My people will consult their wooden idols, and their The linen rods inform them. For a spirit of promiscuity leads them astray. They act promiscuously in disobedience to their God. They sacrifice on the mountaintops, and they burn offerings on the hills and under oaks, poplars and terebinths, because their shade is pleasant. And so your daughters act promiscuously, and your daughters-in-laws commit adultery. I will not punish your daughters when they act promiscuously, and your daughter-in-laws when they commit adultery. For the men themselves go off with prostitutes and make sacrifices with cult prostitutes, people without discernment. And I guess I could end it there because really heard a lot in a nutshell, and it ended off with God's case against humanity. But at the same time, the beautiful thing about it, as it all boils down, it's like a blueprint laid out. But at least we know our children will be okay. But it's all just rules. You feel what I'm saying? Every day is another day to get it right, but it's not to get it right for us. It's to get it right to the Lord, in His eyes. Because when it all boils down, I'm saying with His case against us, we just want to be in the clear. You feel what I'm saying? Just to put it in a nutshell. So on to the next. Yeah, God is going to be good to us regardless. The words may sound a bit harsh, but God is going to be good to us because we want to be good to ourselves. So, boom, a little bit more. Before you take the first step, reflect and discern. Oh, what do you know? We were just talking about discernment. Whoa, 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 whoa. God is good. Okay, here we go. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. Chinese proverb. I can trace every success or failure in my life back to something I did or didn't decide effectively. Whether in the course of developing a relationship, doing business, selecting investments, or accepting invitations, I have found a direct correlation between my location on life's highway and my decision to turn, exit, stop, and start. Extenuating circumstances beyond my control were always involved, yet more times than not I was a victim or victor of my own making, achieving, or failing because I did not put into place the necessary prerequisites to accomplish my desired goal. Now, to be sure, I am not a self-flagellating individual who uses this premise to blame and belittle myself for past decisions and their consequences. No, I am saying that my decisions set the course of my life. I have now been married to the same woman, the mother of my children, for over 25 years. That relationship decision has set the climate of my life, much like a thermostat on a heating system sets the temperature in the room. In keeping with this concept, persons in the room may not know that the temperature is affected by the smallest incremental movement of a drop of mercy in a device at an unnoticed location. In spite of its invisibility to the inhabitants of the room, it still affects the comfort level of everyone present. Similarly, my key relationship decision and many other decisions I have made affect me and all those around me. Good results are a direct reflection of my ability to think through, discern correctly, and move successfully from the trajectory of my last decision. Okay. Let us know that I am not no dictionary, so some of these words may be hard to actually say, but it don't matter. You go get the jugs, okay? I'll let you know. Whatever. Here we go. We all have our own unique decision-making process. Sometimes we have to make a small decision such as choosing a new hairstyle or whether to paint the bedroom sky blue or periwinkle. Other times decisions are larger such as whether or not to move to a new city for a better job or to keep an old one. We each have our own style and ways to approach decision-making process. Some of us tend to know exactly what we want. We make up our minds quickly and act immediately. Others prefer to deliberate for a long time, weighing all the angles and options before deciding what to do. Reflect, discern, decide. This one is speaking. Good decision making in relationships, business, anything results from a process of reflection, discernment, decision. This truth recently emerged in a new light for me. I have had the same code in my for-profit company for nearly 10 years. It was interesting to me to note an observation he made about me. Often people who work with you notice things about you have not realized about yourself. He advised some business constituents that it was unwise to approach me with a presentation that was long and laborious. He had noticed what I jokingly referred to as my ADD, attention deficit disorder, that my attention varied quickly during presentations like those that included the history of a company and who the founder married in 1902. I really would rather be spared the gluttony of losing my head in details that are largely irrelevant to what I need to decide. In other words, cut to the chase, answer my questions, and lead me to my own thoughts. He also shared with them that the hardest part of doing business with me was millions and millions of questions I asked in the name of doing due diligence. I smiled at my crew's remarking and thought they were an accurate depiction of my inward reality. Even my staff members, or not the nonprofit side of my organization, had learned to come to me expecting multiple questions and to be armed with answers before setting the meeting. I do not apologize for this proclivity. I believe that good leaders anticipate tough questions and have at their disposal the answers that predict issues, struggles, and maladies that are inherent in the normal process of doing business. Sound decisions are based on great information, so the more significant the question, the more due diligence is required. I believe important decisions demand stewardship. If we are too good to be stewards of the great opportunities, we must show respect for those opportunities by the level of diligence to which we prepare for the next move. Relationship decisions are among the most opportune choices in life. And I remind you that no others leave as many footprints alongside your own on life's journey as those you make to unite yourself with another person emotionally, sexually, spiritually. Herb appeal. Several years ago, my wife and I purchased a new home. We did so after selling our previous home and nearly doubting our initial expenditure for it. I searched ardently through the better neighborhoods in our city trying to find a home that will yield a similar return in the future should we decide to sell. I found a good house in a great neighborhood and began to discuss with my friends and family the possibility of purchasing it. To my surprise, one of my friends advised me against getting the house. He said, "I know you so well that I can hear your uncertainty in how you explain the value of the proposed home. You seem as though you are trying to convince yourself that the deal is a good one. In other words, though, thou doubts closely too loudly." My friends seemed to know that I wasn't totally happy with the decision to buy the house. It was a great deal. The house would sell easily later and would no doubt yield a return. The problem was that I didn't really like the house. I liked the deal, but not the house. After this observation, I had to reflect. My goal of getting that house with a curb appeal that was marketable for resale was not equally important as getting the house that I liked. Ultimately, I decided that my enjoyment of the house was a significant consideration that I had minimized. Friends many times make poor decisions because we have decided what success looks like. Due diligence must include a heart check. Yeah, a heart check. Is the goal good looks or good character, wealth or happiness, safety or excitement? Is the goal a matter of marrying someone who looks good on paper or looks good in person? Is the goal to find a person who is economically sound or emotionally stable? Yes, you are right. It is possible to have both. But neither is possible if you don't decide that these are the goals. What does success look like to you? What compromises a successful relationship to you? After looking at over 28 homes all across the Metroplex, I made a choice. By the time I was ready to choose, I had examined the return rate of my investment, the likelihood of foreclosure for my loan, a feasibility study that looked at fair marketable value and comparable properties similar to my investment. The difference this time was that I also factored into the importance of liking what I was going to spend a good number of years paying for. You may not be able to imagine buying a home without this vital consideration. In fact, some people make how they feel about their home, how much they like their home, the number of criterion for its purchase. They don't consider the kind of neighborhood it's in, its potential resale value, or where the market for homes in the metro area will be in 5 years. They only know that it has great view of new appliances and feels bright cherry. Maybe you are less inclined to focus on the business of real estate and have little regard to the profitability of a house. Perhaps you gravitate by nature to its cosmetics of the house and your ability to enjoy it and decorate it. I realize that there are many buyers who are more interested in the feng shui of a house, the convenience of a functional kitchen, and the nearness to schools, and who never consider the resale value. Both set fact, both sets of factors, your head and your heart, must come into the equation of making this of any significant decision. You must consider both the hard data as well as the intangible internals. So with both sets of data in mind, I finally bought a beautiful family estate and some extensive farmland. Farmland here is a good buy, and the house was all my rather large family would need as we grow into grandchildren and in-laws. My new property, with its extensive aggregate, provides a home for bobcats, coyotes, and a few hungry Angus cows. Every morning when I wake up to the sound of squirrels playing in the trees outside my window, rabbits scurrying across the grounds, I know that the value of my home is not just the appraisal. It also includes the happiness for which there is no price tag. This reminds me of the MasterCard commercial when the price of the numerous items are listed followed by the value of the total experience. Priceless. Small decisions versus large financial decisions. Now, I might just go ahead and skip this one. Just because, give you some time if you want to rent a book. Or a lot of you all, we're grown, we know how to handle money. Usually through experience, you know how to handle money. So, yeah, I guess I'll spare you that. And go a little bit further, we're going to browse. If you don't mind. And I'll come back to that. The cost of priceless decisions. Too often we overlook these priceless variables in our decision making. In Luke 14:28, we're told that no one desiring to build a tower will do so without first counting up the cost to see if they have enough to finish it. Counting the cost is very important. However, it is not enough to count the cost solely for the purpose in ensuring that you have enough to finish. You must count more than economic costs. While most things that make money cost money, dreams and goals often involve more than monetary expenditures. Many budget line items do not add to the bottom line, but priceless considerations in the process of decision making. You will never enjoy the thrill of a priceless experience until the intangible items between the lines are counted and the cost. If you want to make priceless decisions, be sure you have accounted for the intrinsic value of incalculable expense and return. I cannot tell you what it's worth to watch the squirrels play in my backyard. I know that they will not affect my appraised value of the property. They will definitely contribute to my satisfied smile as I drink my coffee in the morning and watch them dance. My point is that whether you are a very practical pragmatist like me or an emotional idealist, if you do not weigh in on the sum total of what you want, you will never achieve your dreams. Dream deeply. Examine your head and discern what is in your heart. It will help actual dream to be realized without the nightmare that comes from making a decision that is not well thought out and balanced. Yeah, man, we can do that. Woo! Speaks of work. But yeah, and we just had to do that, not for ourselves, but just to give God His time, and whenever we can just, push forth some wisdom on others. We all trying to get it right. We all don't have it completely together, mentally, spiritually, physically, but who does these days? So if you don't, we all trying to get there. We're not trying to judge. We're just trying to make it where we need to be so we can do the right thing in the Lord's eyes, so He can continuously bless us day to day. And yeah, that's about it. It's self-explanatory. God is good. God is love. Love y'all. We're gonna keep living and do what we do. So God bless you.